Good afternoon. I'm First Warn 5, Meteorologist Mike Nicco. Happy hump day to you. Yeah, we've made it to Wednesday. We've got the rest of the work week ahead of us, shorter now that we're more than halfway through it. But we've got chances of storms every day. Not great chances, but if they do pop, they could be severe. And that is today, tomorrow, and Friday. And we're culminating that chance Friday with a first warn. Looks like those are going to be the most widespread and also the most disruptive. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about when we finally get a break. It's always nice to get a little bit of a break from the heat and humidity. And when it's going to come, I think is ideal for outdoor activities. So let's start off with what's going on today. You can see we've got that severe risk. This was upgraded yesterday, as we talked about right after we finished our update. So the Storm Prediction Center still thinks that this is possible, and it is possible. Is it probable? Not really. Most models are keeping us dry. The cap is just too strong. And what the cap is it's a warm layer of air right above us, 10,000 feet, that is warmer than the air below it. So the warm air can't rise into warmer air. The warm air's got to have cooler air around it to make it more buoyant and rise. So it's keeping that from happening. But if something does break, watch out for gusty winds out of these storms and possibly some large hail also initially with these storms. So let's start with the three things that I want you to know and we're going to expand upon. The first of them was what's happening today and tomorrow, both about a 20% chance for severe storms because it's hot and humid once again. Here's your first warn for Friday. More confidence that we're going to see more widespread storms and better chance of those likely happening means we're going to have a better chance of severe weather. And there it is, the weekend. Yeah, the weekend. We get a brief break from the heat and humidity. So here's the rest of today. Isolated storms, 90. Warmer than yesterday, much warmer, just at 20%. So most of us stay dry and avoid storms and severe weather. That hot sunshine, that is going to make it feel even warmer than the heat index, which is 96. Hot sunshine will make it feel like 106 to possibly 116. We do have a breeze out of the south, limited relief, barely knocks off the edge of the heat. It's about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So compared to yesterday, we were 85 for a high. Our highest heat index was 88. Today we're going 90 and about 96. So it's going to feel 8 degrees warmer. You're definitely going to notice that. Right now, sky looks pretty clear. Just some small cumulus clouds out there, and that shows you just how little buoyancy is in the atmosphere right now. The air is not rising much at all. And if the air doesn't rise, then the warmth from the ground stays lower to the ground, and that means it heats us up more, and that's why we're going to hit 90. One of the reasons today because of that cap. We're already at 86. It feels like 90, and there's that southerly breeze at about 8 miles per hour. But the key to today, look at the temperatures. A lot of mid-80s to low 90s, and those are running 1 to 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. So here's a look at your next 5 hours, get you through the afternoon into the early evening hours. A lot of 90s out there and a lot of 20% chances of storms. They could just pop up at any time and anywhere, but good, it's not a great chance. Because we are capped today, our air quality is going to be moderate. It's right at the top. The top of moderate is 100, and this is at 100. So there could be a possibility during the evening commute when the best chance for ground-based ozone is created because it's the hottest part of the day. It's the day we're burning internal combustion engines. We could peak into unhealthy briefly. So if you're heading out this evening, outdoor activities will be the best after the sun sets. 9 o'clock will be around 83. So here we go with our chances. Let's turn our attention to that now. 20% today, 20% tomorrow, 40 on Friday, most disruptive. That's why we have the first warn. So here's the severe risk Thursday. Not much of one, is it? It's mainly to our north. And that's kind of the flavor you're getting out of this pattern we're in. Stuff is going to develop possibly in South Dakota, but more likely Nebraska and Iowa, and slide southeastward towards us. They'll be strongest north of us. We'll be getting them on their decline, on their weakening stage. But still, as we saw the other morning, was that Monday morning, Tuesday morning? We had those storms. That were supposed to decline, and they didn't, and they blew through here and created some wind damage. So that's something that's going to keep our attention. Now again, what I mentioned, no computer model has storms today. So we're going to jump to Thursday. This is the most aggressive model for you weather aficionados out there. This is the HER, the 12Z run. So that's 7 o'clock this morning. You can see it pushes something through during the beginning of the commute tomorrow, 5 a.m. It's out of here rather quickly by 7-8. But then it tries to push in another wave around the lunch hour, and it's quickly out of here. So again, that is the most aggressive model we have. Other models are saying no, it's not going to happen tomorrow either. We're going to be capped. So it's something we have to watch. It's hard at times to know how strong these storms are going to be because they're coming out of the mountains, and they're developing as they head into Nebraska and Iowa. And so once we can get a handle on how strong they are, that's when we can know exactly where they're going. And actually that lead time is really 12 to 18 hours at best. So when I show you these models a little bit farther out, yeah, you have to take it with a grain of salt, have to know that things will likely change. But notice all of us, just about all of us under the green for a risk of severe weather on Friday. Same threats, initially some hail, winds, and then as the storms become from more isolated to more of a line of storms, then that's when the wind becomes more of a threat. So why is Friday a first warn? Well, one of the reasons most of the models are saying we're going to get something, and they've been saying that for several days now. So that's why we pulled the trigger yesterday to give you at least 72 to 96 hours advance notice that, hey, something's going to happen on Friday. And here's the way the model plays out. You can see it's 6 o'clock in the evening. So we're looking at mainly dry through the afternoon hours. Evening, it's moving into the northwestern parts of Missouri and northeastern Kansas. And it's going to continue to march. And you could see how much more widespread this is. You can see some red in there, which means these storms are going to be pushing severe limits once again. As we lose the heating of the day, we may lose a few of these storms. But there's a cold front, a definite boundary where air is converging. And when air converges, it has to go up. It can't go down into the ground. So where that air is converging, you're going to get some natural lift, and that'll keep these storms going into the overnight hours through Saturday morning. That's why we have a 40% in that first warn on Friday. But once we get to Saturday on the backside, if that cold front does move through as we expect, look at that temperature, 83 degrees. Doesn't that look amazing for outdoor activities? So we're going to go from hot and humid, and the cold front's going to bring in a briefly refreshing air mass. Now, what do I mean by briefly? Let's take a look at the rest of the Security Bank 7-day forecast. And you can see by Sunday, we're at 86, which is still a little bit below average. But notice the feels like temperatures. The next couple of days, mid-90s to low 100s. We drop down into the 80s to the low 90s over the weekend. That's going to feel actually pretty good. But then as we get deeper into the forecast, let's go into Monday and Tuesday next week. Yep, 90-degree temperatures are back, and so are a 20% chance of a storm, and maybe a better chance on Tuesday at 30%. So to recap everything, heat and humidity is here through Friday. Heat index values 95 to 100, 101. Small chances of storms that could be severe. There's a 1 in 5 risk, lowest risk for Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is still a 1 in 5 risk, but there's a much better chance that we're going to see those storms actually come to fruition. And so that could affect your evening plans. Something we'll keep an eye on, something we want you to keep an eye on. And then Saturday and Sunday, enjoy being outside. It's going to feel great. And then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, it's hot and humid once again. So hopefully you have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll have more updates coming at you here and also on the TV. Have a great day.